In the small town of Millbrook, nestled beside a dark forest in the year 1998, there lived a truck driver named Tom Walker. Every single day, Tom drove his old red pickup truck down the same lonely road that cut through the forest, delivering goods to the town's general store. It was the only job he had, and he was proud of it. Tom had a son named Sam. Sam was 2 years old, with bright, curious eyes and a laugh that could fill an entire house. Every morning before Tom left for his route, Sam would run to the door, wave his little hands and shout, "Bye, Daddy! Come back soon." Tom would smile, ruffle his son's hair, and promise he'd be back by dinner. The road Tom drove every day passed by an old, abandoned house at the edge of the forest. The house had been empty for as long as anyone could remember. The windows were broken, the porch sagged, and vines crawled up the walls like skeletal fingers. The townsfolk called it the Witch House, though nobody could say exactly why. Old stories whispered that a woman had lived there long ago, a woman who practiced dark magic, who cursed anyone who wronged her, and who vanished one night without a trace, leaving the house to rot. Tom never paid much attention to the stories. He was a practical man. Ghosts and witches were things from old wives' tales, not real life. But one autumn evening, everything changed. It was a Tuesday. Tom was driving home later than usual because of a flat tire that delayed his route. The sun had already set, and the forest road was pitch black except for his truck's headlights cutting through the darkness. As he approached the old witch house, his truck's engine suddenly sputtered and died. Tom groaned, pulling over to the side of the road. He tried the ignition again and again, but nothing happened. The truck was completely dead. With no phone signal in this part of the forest, Tom had no
unnaturally cold, like stepping into a freezer. His breath came out in visible puffs. The crickets that had been chirping moments ago fell silent. Complete silence, except for the creak of the old house's porch swaying back and forth on its own in the windless night. Tom looked toward the house. Standing on the porch, in the moonlight, was a woman. She wore a long black dress, tattered at the edges, and her skin was pale as bone. Her hair was long and tangled, falling over her face so that Tom couldn't see her eyes, only her mouth, curled into something between a smile and a snarl. She didn't move. She just stood there, watching him. Tom froze. Every instinct in his body told him to run, but his legs wouldn't move. The woman tilted her head slowly, unnaturally, like a puppet on strings. Then, in a voice that sounded like dry leaves scraping against stone, she spoke. "You drove past my house every day," she said. "Every day for years. And never once did you stop. Never once did you help." Tom's mind raced, trying to remember. Had he ever seen her before? Had he ever passed someone who needed help and ignored them? I don't understand," Tom stammered. The woman took a step forward. Her bare feet made no sound on the wooden porch. 3 years ago. A woman, stranded on this very road. Her car broken down, just like yours now. She waved for help. You drove past. Tom's blood ran cold. He remembered now, vaguely. A woman on the side of the road, late at night. He had been tired, in a hurry to get home to his pregnant wife. He had told himself someone else would stop. He had told himself it wasn't his problem. That woman, the figure said, her voice growing louder, froze to death that night. Alone. Waiting for someone, anyone, to care. "I'm sorry," Tom whispered. "I didn't know." "You didn't care to know," the woman snapped. The cold in the air intensified, frost forming on Tom's truck, on the trees, on the ground beneath his feet. "And now you will learn what it feels like. To wait. To be forgotten. To watch the ones you love suffer while you can do nothing. Please," Tom begged, falling to his knees. "Please, I have a family. A son. Please." The woman's smile widened, revealing teeth too sharp, too many. I know, she hissed. I've seen him. Little Sam. So full of life. No. No, please don't. But the woman was already gone. Vanished into thin air, leaving only the cold and the silence and Tom alone on his knees in the dirt. His truck's engine roared back to life on its own. Tom didn't waste a second. He scrambled into the truck and drove home as fast as he could, his hands shaking on the steering wheel, his heart pounding so hard he could hear it in his ears. When he arrived home, the house was dark. Too dark. The porch light that his wife always left on was off. Tom ran inside, calling out for his wife, for Sam. The living room was empty. The kitchen was empty. He ran up the stairs, his footsteps echoing through the silent house, and threw open the door to Sam's room. Sam's crib was empty. The window was wide open, curtains billowing in a cold wind that shouldn't have been there. On the wall above the crib, written in something dark and wet, were 3 words, "Too late, Tom." Tom screamed his son's name. He searched every room, every closet, under every bed. His wife was nowhere. Sam was nowhere. The house was empty, cold, and silent. He ran outside into the backyard, screaming into the night, and that's when he saw it, through the trees at the edge of his property, a faint light. A lantern, swaying gently, leading deeper into the woods. Against every instinct, Tom followed it. The light led him deeper and deeper into the forest, the trees growing thicker, the air growing colder, until finally he came to a small clearing. And there, in the center of the clearing, was his wife. She was sitting on the ground, perfectly still, staring straight ahead with empty, glassy eyes. In her arms she held Sam. Also still, also silent, his small chest not moving. "No, no, no, no!" Tom sobbed, rushing forward and falling to his knees beside them. He reached for his son, but the moment his hands touched Sam's tiny body, his wife's head snapped toward him. Her eyes were no longer her own. They were black, completely black, like staring into a void. Her mouth opened, and the witch's voice came out, though it was layered now with his wife's voice underneath, both speaking at once. "You felt it for 1 minute," the voice said. 1 minute of fear. 1 minute of helplessness. She felt it for hours. Alone. In the cold. While you drove home to your warm bed. "Please," Tom wept, clutching his son's lifeless body to his chest. "Please bring them back. I'll do anything. Anything you want." The thing wearing his wife's body tilted its head, the same unnatural movement the witch had made on the porch. "There is one thing," it said. "Stop. Every time you see someone in need, on the road, on the street, anywhere, you stop. You help. No matter what. No matter the cost to yourself." "I will," Tom said immediately. "I swear it. I swear on my life." The black eyes stared at him for a long moment. Then, slowly, his wife's body slumped forward, and in his arms, Tom felt the smallest of movements, Sam's chest rising, falling, rising again. A weak, raspy cry broke the silence of the forest. Tom looked up. The clearing was empty except for the 3 of them. The lantern light was gone. The cold was gone. It was just an ordinary autumn night in the woods. His wife stirred, blinking, confused, asking what had happened, why they were in the forest, why it was so cold. She remembered nothing. Tom never told her. He never told anyone. But from that day forward, Tom Walker never drove past anyone who needed help. Not once. Not ever. If he saw a car on the side of the road, broken down, he stopped. If he saw someone walking alone on a cold night, he offered a ride. He became known throughout Millbrook as the kindest man anyone had ever met, though no one knew why he had changed so suddenly, so completely, after that one autumn night. And every time Tom drove past the old witch house on Millbrook Road, he would slow down, roll down his window, and quietly say, "Thank you?" The house never answered. But sometimes, just for a moment, the porch swing would stop creaking, as if, somewhere, something was listening. The End Ghost.